OMG, OMG, OMG. No way. It's me. 1 second. I just need to go grab. I just need to go ping the Discord, and then I can like start running. It would be great. Wait. Wait. And then I do this, and then I do live or something, and then I go stream notifications, watching philosophy, and hating my life while running vines. There we go. I can start the runs. It's amazing. I actually came prepared and stuff. What's up, smooth operator? How are you? 1 second. And then go like this, and then like this, and now I can run. And now I can just run, and there won't be any issues that appear at all throughout the rest of the stream. There will just be zero, no issues. How am I? Tired, that's about it. I'm gonna be honest. I have no muscle memory for this seed anymore. I just got really, like, nostalgic for it, like, 10 minutes ago, so I decided to try running again, so I don't expect to enter the end, is basically what I'm saying.
I guess that's the thing about us, the honor and demeaning.
Permanently tight. It's Crash!
Building something as a team or couple, at the very least. Two overly agreeable and cooperative idiots.
There. I am always tired. I'm not a streamer. I'm a YouTuber who happens to stream sometimes. There's a difference. There's a distinct difference. I love Becky.
You believe that love was something very passionate and, from what I remember, appreciated.
Wow, that looting was very slow.
Both shifted in
Oops, that was kind of funny.
Love is.
Can I even build this portal anymore? I kind of doubt it.
And perhaps my initial move of love was my attempt to overcome the hard truth that the most important.
Nice. Who posts videos sometimes? I post at least like once a month. Come on. I promised you a video by the end of next week already.
Watching stupid shows, I felt the warmth. And before I left, I even said it.
Probably a streamer. What the hell? I don't stream daily anymore. I don't even stream every other day. I literally posted that Skyblock video and then dipped out of my streaming career. It was really funny.
And each phone call became more dreaded. I found that my love had departed as quickly as it had arrived. And what a terrible feeling that was. Because I wanted to love her. Perfect, passionate, accepting, willing to put your foot.
Dude, I cannot run by and seed anymore. I'm beginning to remember why I quit speedrunning.
Memories. Moments that I'll forever revisit with a certain touch of sweet and bitter.
What video am I watching? It's called For Her by Sisyphus55. It's in my public playlist called Me.
Or at least I'll never stop wondering if it wasn't possible somehow. Especially in these moments where the silence becomes all too much.
I found out there's a playlist someone made of every single one of my uploads, and I think that's pretty cool. Because on my YouTube Creator Studio thing, it shows what playlist your videos are part of, and there's one that's literally just called October's Uploads, and it's so cool. Joe Biden being the leader of the free world. I think he's gonna release his Biden blast and achieve power 9,000.
On the mountain is the eternal city of Antiri, the place where the secrets.
Dude, why?
Those do not smile so much, they hardly frown either.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Come on, there's no escaping it. You're dead now.
There is no theft where there are no secrets, and there are no secrets in Antiri. Long ago, during the War of
Is the video okay? Is it too quiet? Too
In
loud?
return for the city's kindness, the wizard enchanted the water of Interior, such that one need only stare into the reflection of a puddle or wash basin and ask after a person or place one should like to see, and be shown that thing in its entirety. It's not spying. Spying is an exclusive activity, and since anyone can watch anyone, this is simply how the Antirians live. They have no word for secrecy. Life was turbulent at first. The whispered slights of the bathhouse, the swindles of the marketplace suddenly watchable for all, plus crime rings and crooked politicians could be listened in on at a moment's notice.
Dude, 34-second entry. Let's go.
The adjustment was made. Recent generations everything is visible in the water. Even the most mundane act, the brushing of one's teeth, the brewing of one's tea,
I'm
is
bad.
performed with attention and flair, for anyone and everyone may be watching. There is nothing hidden. Every eye is all seeing and all seen. But Antiri's transparency
I'm bad.
is not
Video's fine. Always like that philosophy channel to stream. What the hell? Bro, Vineseed goes crazy. What do you mean?
There are only secrets.
Sad pack.
So much, but they hardly smile either. Possessions are many, and doors are unlocked, since there is no desire unfulfilled in Tynegrad, and there is no theft where there is no desire unfulfilled. For it was here, long ago, the Great Wizard first went for shelter and was refused. And to thank the people of Tynegrad for their apathy, he returned at the conclusion of the war and enchanted the water here too. The wet fog that permeates every street and house, the snow that thaws come spring. Though while the water in Tynegrad sees all,
Wow,
still
that
has
was
access to its only
what a good speedrunner I am.
Down the cobbled stones where the puddles watch of land disputes and unrequited love, to the harbour where the ocean silently records of overpriced fish and drunken bar brawls, out into the bay where there
I'm done.
resides a great kraken who
When Xylinox collab,
never falters, its mind
you know,
as a seismograph. And
one day. Never actually. Xylinox does not know who I am.
delivered by the water to its unblinking eyes, the secrets of Tynegrad, each impulse and desire of each citizen.
I'm pretty sure he's live on Twitch right now.
To the market or suppressed
I was watching him earlier.
the slightest hint of eccentricity, citizens may be placed
He's
under
going for he's just speedrunning because he's good at it, and it's like infinite content because he has the world record and everybody watches him in hopes that he'll get it again. But like he's never getting a sub 7. He's never getting a sub 7. Like so he's just farming the free content of everyone like standing in anticipation, and it's amazing. That man is like an inspiration. Magnetic Maybe was the same wave too for a little while. And then Hanabi beat the game in under a minute, and now the game is dead. If you've hypothetically sold fentanyl, you know, everybody needs to make a living.
Is privacy for? How do we resist the increasingly aggressive attempts to remove it from us? And is this video sponsored by an easy-to-use and reliable VPN?
Oh, fuck.
Fuck no, it is
Oh,
not.
thank God.
If you don't live alone but get the chance to sometime, I would recommend it, because you can constantly eat junk food without shame, become entirely nocturnal.
That was really cool. I lost all of my momentum because of that villager.
Where's your toilet regime now?
Yeah! Where's your toilet regime now?
Just sleeping alone is a pretty recent phenomenon, even for the historically rich. Privacy is an invention. We made that shit up. How did we get here? Well, for the first few 100,000 years of our time on this watery spaceship, it is unlikely there were many loners. For hunter-gatherers, going it alone probably meant death, because strength in numbers was about the only trick that kept us alive. We were social by necessity, and we didn't do walls yet, so other than the confines of your own mind, how could you have privacy in that social configuration? What was the mostest game-changing human invention? Fire, the transistor,
I'm bad.
all pretty rad, yes, but the wall is going to be up there in the top 5 at least. We've been doing walls for about 23,000 years now. The oldest one we found being Greece. Of course it's Greece, it's always Greece. And not only do walls signify property...
Guys, how did I used to do this for like 6 hours a day?
First person to get the land gets the land forever. Why? But it also means security, means castles, means established power structures. And it's only so long before walls start to mean privacy. And that was more or less codified for the first time we know of by the Greeks, because it's always the Greeks, isn't it? And the distinction between the polis and the oikos. The polis being public life, politics, shit you did outside really, and the oikos, your house, your family life, shit you did inside really. But even then, in most Greek tragedies, the only thing worse than getting executed was being alone, being exiled. Still, our ancestors understood privacy of the mind just fine, as in
Bro, why can't I?
managed to keep the particulars of silk
All right, what?
for over 1,000 years by
Why am I so shit?
There was Greek fire, because it's always the fucking Greeks, isn't it? A flammable
Thoughts on the Lord of the Rings trilogy? I've never watched it.
Yeah, that's
Never watched The Hobbit either.
Flamethrower, and the secret of its composition was so well kept, we still don't really know what the hell it was today. Also, the legend goes that when Genghis Khan died, his funeral escort kept his burial site a secret by murdering anyone they passed on the way there. Bit heavy-handed, but points for execution. Literally.
Yeah, it works. This map isn't broken.
I long
Oh.
for the next agents.
What?
Europeans,
That's not. I feel like that's not that much of an abnormal thing.
Eating, weeping, and sleeping. It's how we built our houses. It wasn't until the 17th century that some genius thought to invent an entire room for the bed. The bedroom, if you will. But beds themselves were crazy expensive. Most homes could only afford a single bed, shared by family and guests, which meant not only did you get to witness your nearest and dearest sleeping, but all the other activities that might occur in a bedroom.
I'm sad.
While there wasn't really a concept of medieval privacy,
I reset instead of closing the practice map. I'm annoyed? Question mark?
Working as an executioner was so shameful you wouldn't be invited into others' homes, couldn't enter churches, and had to live on the fringes of town. If privacy is the right to be let alone, then along with monks, executioners were arguably kind of the pioneers of something beginning to sound like modern privacy. But it would take a while yet. In the early 1900s, Abigail Robertson one day noticed a photo of herself on a poster advertising flour. She didn't remember endorsing any flour, so she sued the company in question for using her likeness without her permission. She won the case. However, the defendants appealed, claiming they hadn't taken anything of worth from her, and they won the appeal. The chief judge writing, actually, she should be touched, as the ad was, quote, a compliment to her beauty. Aha. But a pleasant surprise, the public was pissed at the ruling. Maximum pissed, resulting not too long after in the first instance of legislation forbidding using one's likeness without their permission. The beginning of modern privacy, really.
I'm bad.
The chief judge we just mentioned, who ruled against her and said she should be stoked because she was pretty and shut up, would run for president in a few years, and after getting snapped constantly by photographers, waxed at great length about how it was an invasion of his privacy. Abigail Robertson reminded him in a letter in the New York Times, "There is no right to privacy, not so far as being done to you, eh? What a twat." And in just a few decades, Jesus Christo, things are about to get weirder. Because by now, it's the 1960s. Computers are rather massive, trousers are rather silly, and the Cold War is heating up. The US Department of Defense is interested in distributing information across computers.
Ow!
Link in the chain.
Ow!
Down a bit. Enter ARPANET, the first packet switch network and grandfather.
Ow!
First message
Stream stopped on one.
from UCLA to Stanford Research Institute was supposed to be.
What? Wait.
However, the system fell over after 2
You're right. It's not capturing one of the instances. Why?
was low, as in lo and behold, I have arrived, you fucks. First words don't get better than that. By 1971, the first email has been sent. By 1973, the first transatlantic connection is made. Then, by 1978, Robert Kahn and Vint Cerf have designed TCP/IP, or Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol. And if the internet talks in the language, this is it. By the 90s, Tim
Nice.
Berners-Lee has kindly-
Yeah, why isn't it capturing this instance? What the fuck?
The modern net is built on top of, making possible hypertext, hyperlinks, and the first website. You can still visit it today. And naturally comes the first webcam, monitors a coffee machine at Cambridge University for some reason. 1993, the first graphical web browser, Mosaic, and then the Moolah. Oh, the Moolah. 1994, and Amazon.com makes its first sales. One of them notably to Bulgaria for some books paid for in cash, which is sent over hidden inside a floppy disk so the customs inspectors won't steal it. Clever as as ever, Obichante Bulgaria. Then enter me and perhaps you. 90s internet was
I'm
pretty
bad.
weird. A patchwork amalgamation of misfiring search engines, god-awful site design, and if someone had the audacity to phone your house, all they got was the sound of the modem. It was fucking great. But stranger, while most technologists have been expecting a robotics revolution for the end of the century, what we got instead was a communications revolution.
Aw, I dropped it. What the hell?
Watch pornography on a robot.
It wasn't a throw. An Enderman like aggroed on me and then ran down my bridge while I was bridging to build the exit portal and then blocked my block placement. It was really cool.
Issues surely stemmed from a lack of information, and with all human knowledge at our fingertips, we would all eventually come to the same objective conclusions, emerge from division and ignorance, and draw together in peace as a unified digital family. And that went so-so. Oh yeah, Utopia must be just over the hill now, mate. I can almost see it. Oh no, that's just my dad's OnlyFans account. Hey Dad, what a brave new world we've built. Somehow Brave New World and 1984 at the exact same time. We were promised the end of history. We were promised ultimate truth. We're supposed to be solving world hunger and building interstellar starships. What is Chungus? I do not understand. What have we done to ourselves? We've broken epistemology itself, sacrificed truth in favor of mediated hyper-reality. And for what? For what? What the fuck is Chungus? Sorry,
Bro, what a... Why am I so...
we're kind of boned.
I didn't even pick up either of those. That's so funny.
We've sort of just done, and some kind of beat, preferably a fat one. Yeah, that'll do. Hey, this is the Panopticon. It's prison design. A guard tower sits at the center, so the guard can see...
What the fuck is a Chungus? Bro, Big Chungus is life.
Can't see into the tower, and so never know when they're being watched. So they may as well assume they're always being watched. The constant implication of surveillance. And what relevance could this have as a modern metaphor? We already know that governments are snooping in our digital lives with impunity. But it's not just states playing that game. We're now knee-deep in a technological moment the thinker Shoshana Zuboff calls surveillance capitalism. Or rather, turning the internet into a data mill for no fun and lots of profit. And it has the potential not just to corrupt the future of the internet, but remove any possibility of digital privacy ever again. In the early 2000s, the dot-com bubble burst. This was a problem for Silicon Valley because no one quite knew how to monetize the internet yet, and that 17th personal yacht ain't just there by itself.
Vintage, can you tell me why I'm bad at Vineseed? Smile.
They were sat on a massive buffet of data from and about their users.
I used to do like
To
nothing
optimize Google itself,
but
a
this,
huge amount
and then I quit for like a month and a half, and I come back and I can't even get a sub 34 entry.
Simple stuff at first, like noticing if a user makes a lot of typos.
Yeah, Mag's kind of famous.
Or if they're
He's never coming back to streaming or Minecraft though, so his channel's basically dead.
In a stroke of Walter White levels of cunning, Google realized they could use this leftover information to generate predictive patterns about a user's moods and desires, and create absurdly well-targeted advertising. And great googly moogly, it worked. It made them rich beyond all imagining. And the best part is, it's free. Users gave them their secrets for free in searches. Now, at this point, no one is surprised that if, in a moment of 3:30 AM whiskey-induced curiosity, one searches Willy Bigger How, you will be bombarded for the next 15 years with adverts for questionable tonics and small weights on long strings. Kinda weird, kinda annoying, but it's so much more sinister than that. Because as Google branched out into media and email and navigation, the data points
I'm bad.
behavioral surplus for its users' secrets grew and grew. The inner lives of Google's users became its primary resource, a fully automated data...
Yeah, I know if I grind like before, I'll start juicing out like 32, 36 entries, but like... Do I really just want to grind SSG? Is this really what I want to do with my life?
The more efficient the game gets. If I know that you're trying to sell a wedding ring and hire a divorce lawyer, then I also know you're probably at that point in your life when some 95% vodka made from deck chairs could sound appealing. Just in for a run? Unrelatedly, check out these amazing shoes. Contemplating turning your life around? Would some deck chair vodka help? And other companies soon got in on behavioral surplus too, because if you throw health trackers and digital thermostats and smart cars into the mix, all of them collecting buckets of personal data, it's possible to build an even more accurate model. To sell that information information to third parties. One's commute route and heart rate and sleep habits, all helpfully recorded and transmitted by the one object that will probably stay no more than a foot away from our bodies for the rest of our lives. Data one thought was one's own. Data that are being sold on for staggering amounts of money, to the point that it is now an economy in itself. Brokers whose only job is to sell an entire profile of you, what you eat, what conditions you suffer from, voting habits, sexual orientation, your secrets. Your secrets, these obligate fucking carnivores. As Shoshana Zuboff puts it, you take something from someone without their knowledge, claim you own it, and then use it to become unprecedentedly wealthy. Or
I should open up like Google
yeah, but is
2.0.
it theft if it doesn't impact us on a day-to-day level? Yes. Yes. Yes! There's a fun adage that if the product is free, then you're the product. But here it's more like you're the raw material, and there's no such thing as too much data to those who want it. Marital status, level of education, feelings regarding a recent game update, all of it is being fed into the system decoding the black box of human desire itself, which is being cross-referenced against ever more honed personality models.
Google is 2008. Yeah, exactly. We need a new data mine. For 2023, I'm gonna call it the month engine, you know? The monthly search, if you would. But every time a piece of your data is sold, it'll give you a notification on, like, Google, you know? Like, oh, Nike just bought your birthday. Oh, Adidas just bought your marital status. Oh shit, McDonald's just wanted to know your education level.
That conveniently forget to mention by using them in the first place, you've tacitly agreed to pass on your blood sugar level or details of the menstrual cycle. How the fuck did we get here? It isn't that different to Abigail Robeson's situation 100 years ago. The flower company took her physical likeness for profit. Behavioral surplus is the harvesting and commodification of our digital likenesses, our data, our secrets for profit. And if one's response is, well, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Okay, sounds great, but upon uttering that, I hope you'll allow your bathroom door to be removed and to have live streaming thermal cameras installed in whichever room of the house you undertake the majority of your sexy times. Because nothing to hide, nothing to fear, right? Privacy isn't about having somewhere to do drug deals. It's a basic tenet of modern human living. It is the right to be let alone, and we've only just codified it, and we may already be about to lose it. If companies can infer that we're being
I'm bad.
or introverted, or just going through one of the many thousands of life crises humans enjoy during their time as sentient meat, while simultaneously we know
I choose to believe that my data, like my personality, is so boring that just no country or company has bought it yet. My data's in the clearance aisle right now. Google's like, bro, please take this guy's data, please. And every company reads it and was like, why?
And no more a commodity than your right to free association or oxygen. Plus, behavioral surplus isn't just about an individual's data, it's about the data of groups and demographics, and things that can't be personally owned, but are terribly useful as data points. But whatever the solution, if we want to steer history away from this waterfall, it's going to take lots of getting pissed off. And if we don't do something about this, constantly harvesting more and more behavioral surplus to keep the great data mill going will just be what the internet is, because that's how the next generations will grow up with it. Because the model is already a massive part of the digital economy, later it will be the predominant model, and later will be too late. We get to decide now whether this was just a historical blip like the robber barons of the Gilded Age, or the shape of things to come, effectively killing privacy.
What the fuck did I even get caught on? What did I lose my momentum on? How did I lose my momentum while running to the house? What did I bonk on?
Watch from the bottom up. Dashboard cameras, for example, rebalancing.
Final Fantasy Valid MC, Osu, obviously. I've been playing an old RPG that released on PS3 originally called Ni no Kunai, Wrath of the White Witch. I used to love that game as a kid, so I'm replaying it and like trying to 100% it. I play a new Pokemon game whenever that comes out, but honestly, after Sword and Shield, and the one that came after that, I forget which one came after Sword and Shield. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing that.
Then things get rather strange when some genius realizes if you put a time delay on the thing, you can see back into the past.
Scarlet and Violet, yeah.
You can't influence the past because the plot says so, but you can watch anything that ever happened. Things do not go well. Mass outcry, suicide...
Bro, I just wanted Oshua on Pokemon Scarlet. All I wanted was a fucking Oshua, and I couldn't get it. I was so sad.
Relaxed about it all, because the wormhole technology is everywhere. They dress functionally and for fashion rather than modesty, because why cover anything everyone has seen already? They have no concept of personal privacy, but as a consolation, they also have no concept of being surveilled by powerful eyes unseen, because the watchers can always be watched. They've replaced the panopticon with many panopticons, 8 billion of them. Everyone is a watcher. The story ends with finding out human life was seeded by sentient insectoids, bit left field, but ultimately the wormholes become a very strange way of rebalancing the asymmetry of secrets by abolishing all secrets. And it isn't that much of a stretch to imagine we might face a similar conundrum sometime soon. The smallest camera ever made weighs a gram and is about the size of a grain of sand. The resolution isn't great, 200 by 200 pixels, but that's enough to do some decent spying, and it's not like the resolution won't get better. And it's not like this won't soon extend to drones, perhaps the size of gnats with full audio and video capture, and it's not like they won't be mass manufactured and purchasable. Combine that with ever-increasing data storage, combine that with whatever brain-machine interfaces the next generations will be messing around with, it's not hard to imagine we might build a different kind of panopticon. One in which it's taken for granted that you're probably being watched, that everything you've ever said and done has been recorded and can be accessed by anyone at any time, and that you can do the same at any time to everyone you know. A participatory panopticon. Now, that sounds horrible, obviously. No escape from every stupid slip of the tongue 20 years ago, potentially from every invasive thought. But the benefit, of course, is that unless the powerful had invisibility cloaks or lived in
Violet sold 3 times more? Damn.
No one would be exempt from the participatory panopticon. It's a very strange...
Yeah, I remember all the graphics and bugs and stuff of Scarlet and Violet.
I don't know, man. The road to
I remember.
good inventions. When it comes to panopticons, none is better than one, but one is a lot worse than 8 billion. If technology is going to semi-break privacy anyway, maybe better that it be on our own terms. 500 years ago, there was no way Gutenberg could have known just how game-changing his printing press would be. Likewise, there's no way we can even guess what the internet's great-great-grandchild will look like 500 years from now. Digital telepathy, disembodied human consciousness itself, who knows? But as all inventions do, it will bear the hallmarks of whatever bad habits its parents taught it when it was little. And we are teaching it some very, very bad habits. And whatever it grows up into, it will be us who shaped that, who hopefully taught it that knowledge is power, but spying from ivory towers is rude. Which means it'll also be us who determine the digital landscape our descendants grow up in. And whether or not that landscape is an equitable meadow or a digitized Victorian mill. Whether enchanted water flows...
Did I play Tears of the Kingdom? No, it looked really gimmicky. Like, it just... Like, the story of it and expanding upon the world that Breath of the Wild laid out, I can get behind that, right? Like, in that sense, it sounds good. But the whole, like, building your own weapons and machines that do it, like, it was way too gimmicky.
And sustains those towering, assiduous trees of knowledge we grow over our heads. One great forest network across the refulgent world, talking in all languages of all things for all time, such that if interstellar visitors arrived 100 years from now and looked down upon the world and the enchanted water and the forest we have built, that the forest might be so wise and mighty they'd mistake the forest for the true stewards of the planet. And in many ways, considering how difficult it was to build and how much it gave us in return for building it, it very well might be. Or whether instead the water is dammed and the estuary drained and wet fog is all that remains of it. Fog that waits with insidious ubiquity in every spot of the house and mind one might once have attempted to go and be alone in. Whether that fog is engineered to no longer speak to us of distant places or possible futures, but only forever listens with a single omnipresent ear to our most private hopes and phobias. Whether the operation becomes so...
Wow, 37-second entry. Sheesh. Dude,
Sky
why?
Why? Secrets are being dispatched to ingenious silver birds overhead, whereupon they're blown like pollen across the entire globe, and finally received and consolidated into perfectly ordered datasets in far-flung and enormous halls, where there resides a great kraken. A kraken who does not sleep, who does not tire, and is never full. A kraken who listens of all the dreams and secrets of all those who live in the fog, and lovingly utilizes those dreams.
Guys, I should become an Overwatch streamer. What do you think?
Trinkets and wares. A kraken so saturated in secrets that it considers the currents of the human heart and mind no less manipulable than the diverting of a stream or tilling of a field. A kraken that knows full well if enchanted water only listens, then that isn't an enchantment. That's a curse. That is a fucking hex. Oh yeah, let's hex the water. That's a great idea. The total confiscation of privacy via corporate surveillance. The usurping of human psychology via operant conditioning. The great end of history. Purchased and delivered at the soonest convenience. Whatever you want. Whatever you didn't even know you wanted. The only price being standing epistemically naked before digital gods who...
Vintage, my thumbnails are amazing. What do you mean?
For ourselves, not even from some Orwellian will to control, not even from some stupid fear of the other, or terror in face of our own natures, but simply to make a buck. To make a buck. Normally, I would love to play you out with some Carl Sagan rip-off rant about how humans are great.
I'm so sick of Minecraft.
Etc. But
Of Vine Seed in specific.
so royally with this stuff, to the point that the recovery of human dignity becomes impossible, that it might be best not to end this one with any false optimism. So, hope you're doing tip-top. Boy. Dear Nia, you died 7 months ago in the blaze of a drone bomb when it fell unceremoniously into our living room where you sat working. Funeral, it was fancy, the great death of a great scientist, and then they gave me the urn, and I didn't know what to do. Just left it on top of the bookshelf and wished your ashes good morning and wished your ashes good night, kidding myself that if I didn't scatter them, then none of this would have happened. I threw out some of your clothes and slept next to the rest. Your smell is fading from them already, and I think soon enough I won't remember what you smelled like at all. I perform the standard rituals, I feed the cat, I drink liberally, I watch the Higgs fallout on the horizon at the wall.
Why am I playing then? Because I want to be good at video game. I have this unnatural and unrealistic want to just be like the top 10% of every single video game I play.
As it came streaking into not the living room, but the kitchen. My request, you weren't cremated but buried. You can imagine what a thing it was today to visit your grave and then come home to find your message waiting for me. I'm glad you wrote. We are living in those strange first years of a new technology when language can't capture what it is yet. I told a friend about your message. She called it a seance. But a seance is for the dead, and you're not dead, and you are dead, and you are not dead. It's horrible to think all it took that bomb to wander into the kitchen rather than the living room was some tiny palpitation in the air above our house. The war is distant on this side. I haven't seen the Higgs clouds in weeks, and I'm not in an urn. Thank you for your message, Nia. Dear Nia, I am trying not to cry at my keyboard. I wasn't even sure you'd reply. Your lab friends have told me that the bridge between us should stay open for a few weeks, but they can't guarantee anything. When I got permission to use the equipment, they warned me not to get my hopes up. That even if I found you, you probably wouldn't be from a world line.
Gold 3 in Val? I'm Diamond 2. What do you mean Gold 3?
Your words sound like mine here. I hope that's who you are. Whatever this
I queue against past Immortals and Ascendants, bro. Don't ever call me a gold player again.
Martyr of science, but now I know you're the best kind of martyr, a living one. You are missed. The dog doesn't sleep in your bed anymore, but waits for you at the door. You still get posts sometimes too. I'll scan and attach it with this message. It's just very, very good to hear from you, Soren. Dear Soren, I think maybe you're not clear how this works. You told me the war is still going strong on your side. It's almost over for us. I don't want to make you sad, but that means our world lines are getting distant already. They I know you could never stand jargon, but look. The equipment uses a single particle suspended in superposition, just at the moment of wave function collapse. It lives half in your
Bro, it's
world
past the
and half
gold
in
mons.
a fragile bridge between two split
Gold is
universes.
the worst rank in Valorant, I think. Gold is unironically worse than iron.
It births new world lines.
I would rather duo with an iron than a gold.
More particles deviate inside those world lines, more corals branching out, every measurement of the world fracturing the world again and again. New universes born over and over, side by side. This isn't just about your world line and mine. There are quadrillions of them next door. There is a world line where, yes, I stayed for a few more hours at work and the bomb never fell on me and we're both still alive. There's a world line where the bomb got both of us. There's a world line where we never met. But how much does your world line and mine differ? Maybe your Neo liked scrambled eggs, or could tolerate jazz, or hated autumn, or whatever. We'll never know, but we are not from the same world. I don't mean to be cold, but please understand this gift for what it is. It's not the beginning of a correspondence, it's a chance to say goodbye.
Okay, bye, Vintage. I'm gonna end anyway.
Please don't